The other thing that we take from this, dear brothers and sisters, what the ulama mention of the smaller istiqamah before the greater istiqamah. The smaller istiqamah before the greater istiqamah. The word istiqamah means to stay firm. To stay firm. And it was the most frequent dua of the Prophet ﷺ, to stay firm. And there's always a minor manifestation and a major manifestation. And so, that a person would increase imanan ma'a imanihim, faith upon faith. Just because you have faith does not mean that you have enough faith. That a person will increase from sabr to a greater level of sabr. Just because you can be patient in some things doesn't mean that you don't have ways to go in the school of patience. And every single virtue in Islam has a layer that is yet to be achieved by you. Istiqamah is no different. And what istiqamah looks like in the minor sense, in the smaller sense, subhanAllah, when you look at the way the scholars speak about it, it's the spiritual reflex. The spiritual reflex. Meaning what? Can you resist the minor urges in your life? Can you resist the urge to argue over something small? Can you resist the urge to complain about something small? Can you resist the urge to look at something haram? Can you resist the urge to speak that word in that moment? Can you resist these urges? Can you control these urges with circumstances that aren't incredibly devastating? And if you learn that, then you're preparing yourself for a moment. But I give you an example. You know, subhanAllah, you're watching people lose limbs on a daily basis. You're watching people lose homes on a daily basis. If something were to rip in your favorite shirt, coffee spills on it, how much does that ruin your day? How are you going to learn to respond with the right spiritual reflex? When Allah Azza wa Jal tests you with a body part, if you can't respond with the right spiritual reflex, when Allah tests you with the garment that covers it, your phone breaks, your laptop falls. Do you just curse and yell and scream and it's the worst thing that happened in the world? What are you going to do if Allah Azza wa Jal tests you with your car, with your house? Right? So it's the spiritual reflex. And Allah Azza wa Jal always speaks about the spiritual reflex in the conditional. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Those who, when they are tested with tragedy, their reflex is immediately إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. To Allah we belong and to Allah we return. Those who immediately say Alhamdulillah for small things, then they'll say it for large things. إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهِ. When they fall into a sin, they will remember Allah Azza wa Jal and seek forgiveness for that sin. How strong are your spiritual reflexes? And you have to be practicing them every single day with the smallest things in life. With the smallest things in life, so that when the major test comes, your reflexes will still be sound. Your spiritual condition will kick in the moment of crisis, when you need it most. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you from that moment. So subhanAllah, you think about what's your spiritual muscle memory, what's your spiritual conditioning, how do you respond? And how do you interrogate yourself every day and say, how did I respond to this? How did I respond to that? How did I respond to that blessing? How did I respond to that test? How did I respond to that irritation? How did I respond to this? And do better the next day. Do better the next day. Do better the next day. Until you find yourself in a situation where Allah Azza wa Jal tests you with something that is far greater. The last thing that I will say to you, dear brothers and sisters, ad-du'a, ad-du'a, ad-du'a. Ad-du'a. Seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection. When you listen to the words that the Prophet ﷺ was using, he wasn't teaching Sahaba du'as for protection that he wasn't making for himself. He himself was making those du'as with tears, alayhi salatu wasalam, dripping from his eyes. And so when you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect your faith, when you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you firm upon iman, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا. Oh Allah, do not let our hearts go astray after you have guided us. When you make these du'as, like at the end of your salah, don't think, alhamdulillah, I'm way beyond this. No. The Sahaba were making du'a to die Muslim. The best generation of Muslims that ever lived were making du'a to die Muslim. That's the baseline. And Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah ta'ala mentions, I've seen people in their oldest age lose their iman in the last moments of their lives. SubhanAllah. He mentions a man who used to come to the masjid every single day until his 80s. And then his son passed away and he lost it. So ask Allah Azza wa Jal with a sense of desperation and vulnerability that it could happen to me. But I trust you, O Allah, not myself. And I have husn al-dhan in you, O Allah. I have a good assumption of you, O Allah, to keep me firm if I'm trying to be firm, but I don't trust my own toolbox because I know that these tools are only successful to the extent that you bless them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us istiqamah when we need it most. May Allah grant us firmness when we need it most. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us firm in every circumstance upon that which is pleasing to Him. Allahumma ameen. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullahi li wa lakum wa li sa'il muslimin fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim.